And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to tonight's game, tonight's live watch along with your host Chris Watt, and joined by my very esteemed colleague, Crazy Boom. Boom, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
We,
you
we got
did
we
get a
got
gr-
a, we got over weekends football. Didn't exist. Never happened.
What is weekend football? I mean, what is weekend football?
Yeah, never.
So,
There was no games on the weekend.
I
I tuned
mean,
match of the day wasn't even on.
I
Couldn't
mean,
even find it.
March 7 would be very, very, very famous for yourself. I think being a certain Manchester United supporter here, so I had to get the 7 joke in before we started.
No, it's an
So,
iconic shirt number. That's connected to. Just
yeah,
number
Michael
7
Owen,
shirt is the only.
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen, beautiful man. That man scored against Liverpool. Michael.
Anyway, guys, welcome to tonight's show. Like I said, I'm your host, Chris Watt, and I'm joined by my colleague, Crazy Boom. So, tonight we've got the Champions League games between Bayern Munich and PSG and Spurs versus AC Milan. The Spurs and AC Milan game has been delayed by 10 minutes because Spurs can't get to the own ground. So, make jokes if you will. So tonight we'll quickly run through the teams. So we'll start with our game that we're going to be covering the most of tonight, the Bayern Munich versus PSG team. So in goal, we've got Jan Sommer, Stanisic, Upamecano, De Ligt, Kingsley Coman, Leon Goretzka, Joshua Kimmich, Alfonso Davies, Thomas Müller, Choupo-Moting, and Jamal Musiala. And for PSG, we've got Donnarumma, Danilo, Ramos, Marquinhos, Hakimi, Vitinha, Fabian, Mendes, Messi, and Mbappe. So, boom, looking at those two teams, do you think it's...
One of the big stories coming out of it is the whole Cancelo falling out with another man.
Yeah, apparently he's not happy again. I mean, is it him or is it just his attitude because he thinks he should be number one defender?
Given the fact we're being so good for Portugal and Man City the last few seasons, and then now suddenly dipping in that form, he might not get the grasp with current realities.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have a great World Cup from what I can remember. He didn't have a
For
really
example,
great World Cup.
Dalot didn't have the greatest World Cup, but he did better than Cancelo, which is why Cancelo
Yeah,
was dropped.
exactly. So, I mean, Cancelo needs. I mean, I'm sorry, but Cancelo needs to kind of suck it up a little bit, in my opinion, because if you're unhappy, prove your manager wrong. Simple as that's the way. That's
Get
the way
your
to look
few
at it.
minutes, prove that you're the best in those. If you get 10 minutes, prove that you're the best in those 10
Exactly.
minutes.
I mean, that again, looking at it, is it his performance in training? Is his performance on the pitch? Is it just him being him? Thinking he's missed a big shot and he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. That's the way you've got to look at it. But also the other one coming to PSG is Neymar being out for the rest of the season after acquiring ankle surgery. It was not the greatest of challenges from what I can remember on Neymar. But as we said off stream, it's quite suspect how it's March time. Get some early sunshine.
Sister's
Chill
birthday,
out.
chill out.
Sister's birthday. Chill out. I mean,
but no seriousness. This one is he had to get surgery for one.
yeah,
It's not like the other ones where they were a bit suspicious. This one, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
So, where do you think? So, obviously, it's kind of poised this game between Bayern Munich and PSG. It's only 1-0 after the first leg, which we covered.
You have Mane coming back from he's not started because he's still coming back to fitness, coming back from that injury.
I mean, you look at that Bayern Munich bench, and you've got Gnabry, you've got Sané, you've got Mane, you've got Cancelo, you've got Dele Alli, you've got Gravenberch sitting there as well. You've got Mazraoui as well coming back. That bench is very, very, very strong, and it's a very good team that Nagelsmann's put out tonight as well. I mean,
Big up Paul Wanner. Never heard of him, but he's there.
He's there, and so is a certain Ibrahimovic. No, I don't think he's any relation to Zlatan, but if he's anything's good by his namesake, we might be in for a treat if he comes on. If he comes on the pitch. So, where do you think this game's going to be won and lost? Boom. Do you think the midfield, or do you think the loss of Neymar and his prowess going forward might hamper?
I think it's very much going to be lost on defenses. I think this is going to be. You have the likes of De Ligt, Upamecano, Alphonso Davies, Joseph, Ramos, Marquinhos, Daniel. But they both have like decent, very good attackers. So Jamal, Muller, Coman, Messi, and Mbappe any day of the week. If they're on form, it's trouble for most people. So it'll be the defenses need to be on it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that.
And anything would have to be better than what PSG did in their first leg. They were.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the midfield for Bayern Munich, for PSG tonight, they've got Vitinha, Verratti, and Fabian in that midfield. It's not the quickest of midfielders. I mean, Verratti
trying to go for the wing backs in Hakimi and Mendes.
Yeah. I mean, looking at that midfield. I mean, he's getting a wee bit on in his career. Vitinha, he's not really performed that great for PSG so far.
You have an average age of 27.9. That's the Bayern Munich's 27.1. So there's 0.8 older in PSG.
And then, but like you just said there as well, regarding about the top two, Messi and Mbappe, if they turn up tonight, then it should be a lot better for PSG than what
you can never rule out a team that has Messi in it at any point.
Exactly. So the next game we have got, like it says, kicking off it's kind of a little bit later, is the Spurs versus AC Milan game. So, boom, you want to take us through the Spurs team tonight?
Yeah, sure. We got Forster because their keeper is still injured. Romero, Langley, Davies, Royale, everyone's favorite fullback, Royale. Højbjerg, Skip, Perisic, Kulusevski, Kane and Son. Pretty much your normal Spurs team.
And then we have got the Milan team. On you go again, Boom.
Magnan, Kalulu, Tial, Tamori, Matthias, Krunic, Tenali, Hernandez, Diaz, the lovable Olivier Giroud that Chris loves so much, and Rafael Leao.
It's a lot. I think it's a better team than what they had last time. I mean, Rafael Leao being back in the team as a massive.
Yeah, he was surprisingly on the bench in the first.
Yeah, I think he was carrying. I think he had a bit of a knock the last time.
He probably did, because I did question it at the time that they did No, he did start, but they subbed him off very easy. That was it in the first one. They subbed him off very early in that game.
Yeah. So I mean, looking at that team, I mean, Brahim Diaz, he is he's an enigma. He's a very much an enigma. Brahim Diaz.
Diaz scored the goal in the last leg.
Yeah. But the thing is, with that team is a very strong, experienced team. But it'll be interesting because the last time Tomori was in England against Chelsea, he didn't have a great
the first
time.
leg was very much a very fast shoot from Milan. They took the lead in the 7th minute and then just kept it for the rest of the game. I'm not sure you can really do that too much in like an away fixture. Just hope to just defend most of the game.
Well, they are Italian, and it's probably what they do best. So that's
no, but like I say, in your home ground, you get more because your own fans are going to spur you through that.
Yeah. But looking at the Spurs team, I'm kind of interested about the Spurs team because I think Conte's back on the bench tonight for Spurs.
I think he is, from what
Because
I can see.
Because I know he'd done the press conference. Now, I'm going to play
Didn't
devil's
say
advocate.
the other time every time he's shown up, they've not had the best.
That's what I was about to say there. So they got hammered 4-0 off a Leicester.
Although
in his last game.
although with him not being there, he was nominated for Manager of the Month for the Premier League, can't they? For not showing up.
That's what I don't get, because I'm like,
they basically gave the assistant managers credit straight to Antonio Conte for the. I'd be pissed off if I was the assistant.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, give me my chance.
I mean, 100%. I mean, see, if that was you, I mean, if you're going for manager of the month or employee of the month, and it gets given to your colleague who done your shift for one shift, and you get so what?
Exactly.
But that's that. I mean, that defense still gives me absolute nightmares. I mean, Romero, he's an absolute bomb scare. He's a red card waiting to happen. Longley as well. He's just. I don't know what.
I don't know why they loaned him. They loaned him into the club this year, Longley. I didn't see the point of it at the time.
But
then you have their other one, which is also not that he's a miss or anything, but their other centre back is Dyer, is suspended for this.
That's probably a good thing for Spurs. He has been pretty dire this season.
They have good. They have Sessegnon out, Lloris out, Dyer suspended, Basuma out, and Bentancur out.
I think Bentancur's out for the season, isn't he?
Yeah. From what I heard when that came on.
I mean, we had a look. I mean, we look at the benches there. I mean, there's only really one player that can probably bring off, or two players he can probably bring on for Spurs that are going to change a game. That's Richarlison and Danjuma. Because Pedro Porro's a right back, and his first game for Spurs wasn't the greatest.
Actually, most of his games have not been the greatest. Even the ones that they won, Pedro Porro has not been.
Yeah. I mean, how fit is Lucas Moura as well? That's another thing. You don't know how fit he actually is. I mean, Sanchez is a defender. I don't know who Whiteman is. I think
Spurs are coming into this at the back of 2 losses in a row. One to Sheffield United and one to Wolves, both 1-0.
And then you look at the Milan bench. You've got Simon Kjaer for Firenze. The person who broke Spurs' heart in the Champions League final, Divock Origi. You've got Salamakers, you've got De Ketelaere. Their team, that's a strong bench. And then you got Pogbega, who's the West version of Paul Pogba, I believe. Who's with an added E in it.
Exactly. To make himself more fancy.
Exactly.
So when you used to put like a father next to your name just to make yourself like L. When you put L in front of a sentence just to make it sound fancy Spanish.
So again, this one's literally same as the Bayern PSG game. Currently 1-0 to AC Milan. How do you think tonight's game will go?
I think it's going to be as tight as the first thing. I think Milan are very good defensively. We saw that in the first one. They kept it at 1-0. And it'll be the battle between the number 9 and number 10. The sexy Olivier Giroud versus Harry Kane, MB.
So here's a question, right? So out the two teams, out of the two games, who's going through?
Ooh. Out of the thing, I'm going to say Bayern Munich because they have more like control of their one, but I don't write Messi off. He could easily change that tie, but for now, I'm going to put money on Bayern Munich. And it's interesting with Spurs. Will they be Spursy, or will they actually turn up, which they can do now and again? Spurs.
I'm going to go against Apple Car here. I'm going to say PSG go through.
That's what I'm saying. That could easily Messi and
See,
Mbappe could easily change it.
just because that Messi fact. I mean, Messi's been hitting a bit.
Yeah,
He's been hitting some form now, and that's the scary thing for
that's what I'm
Bayern
saying.
Munich.
You go Bayern because of the home team, but like you never rule off Messi in any tie, even.
Definitely not. I mean, the thing with
and with
the
both
only
games 1-0 is never safe, as we saw the other day with Chelsea. 1-0 is never a safe result.
I mean, you look at. I mean, this is where I think this game is going to be won and lost. If PSG can win this game, Messi. If Messi turns up, they'll win this. I think
Messi is the one player on the pitch with an average rating of all the games he played as an 8.
But like I already pre-mentioned, that bench for Bayern Munich can easily change the game, especially with the pace of Gnabry, Sané, and Mane as well. Those three.
Without getting the first name to know that it's different, it's man seeing Ibrahimovic with a Bayern bench.
But guys, if you are in chat, drop us a message, give us our questions. We're here. We're an interactive stream. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, give us a like on Twitch. If you're watching on Facebook, share that and give us a like on there as well. It helps us out a bunch. And we've got some big news coming out next week probably. So keep an eye on our socials at the FN Pod on Twitter. So. Yeah,
I'm gonna call it now. You heard it here first, Chris. Paul Wanner is gonna be the next big thing. 17-year-old Austrian, next big thing.
If he might be a football manager wonderkid next year. Who knows? So, let's talk about last night's games, and I'm going to start with my boys.
Before
Chelsea,
you get to, I'm going to mention one thing which I find quite interesting,
which is
I'll put it in with Spurs here. I find it interesting that you swapped forms the moment they beat you.
Yeah,
like they beat you and then lost 2 games on a row. You lost to them and then won 2 games on the spin.
Yeah. So, let me just get this rid of that. Bang. So, I'm going to take the boys. I've always seen the highlights of it this morning, probably because I was at the football last night myself. I wish I stayed in the house, watched the game. Chelsea were outstanding last night. The way they played. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it against Leeds at the weekend, but we
also kind of saw a performance in Dortmund itself. Like when we did the watch along, you were very aggrieved that you didn't get anything from that.
Yeah,
the decisions that went against you and that.
I mean, I did have to laugh. I did have to laugh at Jude Bellingham having a little strop at the full time whistle when he went up to Mateo Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, who completely bossed about the game. But yeah, I think the way Chelsea played last night, that's what Chelsea fans expect week in, week out. Because you've seen a bit of heart, you've seen a bit of fight, you've seen players going after, you've seen more determination from certain players. And I'm going to give a massive shout out to one player and one player only just now, Mark Cucurella. He was outstanding last night. And as you know,
got man of the match.
Exactly. He has not been my favourite player at all this season. And he was outstanding last night.
It was nice that Raheem to finally show.
Raheem's goal was a cracking goal as well. I mean, it was very. I mean, see, that's the thing. The formation that he put out last night, the 3 at the back, the 2 wing backs, and
you're playing João Felix more as the winger this time rather than rather than the attacking midfielder.
Yep, and it worked. It worked. So.
Although I will say Kai Havertz is still not a striker. There were still several chances
but
that man should have scored about a hat trick.
But he performed better in that
Mm.
false nine position. He's been going through confidence issues. That's the thing. He's been going through confidence
He's lucky
issues.
he got to retake the pen though, because at first that pen was funny.
It was terrible.
And blasted
It was
off.
terrible. Yeah. But the way Thummy, the way that it takes balls to go up and do it for a second time as well.
Mm.
Because I watched the interview afterwards with Raheem and Kai.
Sometimes you have like them switching penalty takers if you miss like the first one in the retake.
Yeah, and because Raheem said to Kai, "Is that I would have took the next penalty? If you didn't want it, I would have taken it." But Kai's like, "No, this is mine. I'm the designated penalty taker now since Jorginho's left."
Mm.
But the way I look at it for Chelsea and Kai Havertz, that was a massive performance. It was much needed from the whole team as well.
Gormy's favourite player, Christian Pulisic, came back.
He did. And he done well.
It wasn't a shift at the end.
He put in a shift at the end.
He wasn't trying to score another goal for like the end. He was just bringing every time he got it. He was running to that corner flag. He wasn't trying to pass it into for another attack.
He was there. He was there for a reason, to waste as much time as possible. And yeah, it was good. It was a good win.
I will have to bring up though the bit of a question mark with some people, especially the Dortmund players, over that penalty.
I think
it's one of those European penalties.
100%. I mean, 9 times out of 10 in the Premier League, you're not getting that. You're not getting that at all. But like you just said, it's a European penalty.
For example, what you were saying, you would think some of the Dortmund players should have got sent off in the first leg. You were like, when we were doing a watch along, you were saying Bellingham should have been sent off in that first leg. You went on a decent spiel in that first leg, so things have a way of like working themselves out and karma.
Exactly. I mean, the way it was, because the way I look at it is that Dortmund, they deserve what they got. They really came out to press Chelsea. Well, they did press Chelsea, but I don't remember, from what I've seen from the highlights, that Kepa was really tested at one point. Apart from the one, it's kind of last couple of minutes when the ball took a dirty deflection, it just kind of spun up and hit him. Which that's the only one I can remember.
Your goal at the end of the first half from Sterling changed that game, because I feel like Dortmund were in full control of what they wanted to do. Just keep it away.
That's the thing. I mean,
they were trying to just manage the game. Hughes wanted to try and win it. They were just trying to manage it.
If you look at it, the way you look at the way Thummy played, what do you call him? Dortmund played in that first game. They allowed Chelsea to have the ball. They pressed them. They got the goal in the counter attack. I expected that to be the same last night, but they played within themselves, and that's it. That was a team that hadn't been beaten in 10 games. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
I think they wanted 0-0 at halftime, and then just the
100%. But let's talk about Chelsea. Let's go to Club Brugge.
I was watching this game.
Who sacked Scott Parker
for the second time this season? Paul Scott. And for the time you were watching it, the commentators the other day kept talking about how Scott Parker needs time. It's very funny what happened today after the entire commentator just going, "You can't sack Scott Parker with just being 6 months into."
Yeah.
There were a lot of like stick by Scott from the English commentators on BT, and then today he gets sacked. We just
and one of the other games quickly just now, it is currently Celtic 0, Hearts 1. in the Scottish Premier League just now, and it's currently 0-0 with Rangers and Hibs. And in the Women's Super League, it's currently Arsenal 2, Liverpool 0, and Chelsea Women 2, Brighton Women 0 as well. So a couple of games to bring us up on. But
all I can say with Club Brugge, they didn't really show up. They didn't really have a goal in the 87. It was a good goal in the 87 minute when everything was too late.
It's probably one of the best consolation goals you're going to get.
But you got to say, Gonzalo Ramos is the reason why his name has popped up since the World Cup.
Well, that was literally just about to ask you that. There was a thing that Mr. Fabrizio Romano tweeted out today regarding about the two Portuguese players, a certain João Felix from Atletico Madrid and Gonzalo Ramos as well at Benfica. Now, what he's saying that there is talks already begun with João Felix and Atletico Madrid into signing at the end of the season for Chelsea, and Felix wants that move. He's happy in London, and then that's going to throw me a flip. Possibly Gonzalo Ramos possibly going to Atletico Madrid to replace João Felix, but there's other clubs looking at Ramos, i.e. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United, all the kind of big names.
Yes, there's definitely going to be a wave, or like whichever striker moves first is going to pull him a wave. Because you're going to have Osimhen potentially looking for a move at winning the title with Napoli. He might want a new challenge himself. You have Harry Kane, who's always being linked to getting out of Spurs.
I mean, I think if Spurs don't get Champions League this season, I think you can see Harry Kane leaving and possibly going to Manchester United.
Then it could link up with Rashford and have that kind of England.
Yeah, but also Rashford's still not signed that new contract yet. There's also links with him possibly going to Munich or somewhere else. Real Madrid being pulled.
We very much are in discussions with Rashford, so I think that'll be. We have triggered his 1 year extension, so he's at least forced here till next year.
In the next year. But there's always there's still kind of that kind of link with Rashford possibly going elsewhere. But I don't.
And with contracts, we have Garnacho. Yeah, where we have him signing a contract, it's just image rights holding up that.
Yeah. But I think, like we said, the kind of transfer merry-go-round has already started. Like, it's going to be, we're going to see a lot more ramping up towards that's the summertime window on the 1st of June.
Even a goalkeeper like roundabout, because Fabrizio also said Raya from Brentford is looking for a move in the summer himself.
Possibly Manchester United again linked with him because I think he's rejected a new 3-year contract.
He was rejected 2 different contracts according to Fabrizio.
So I think Raya will probably move, but I don't see him becoming a number 2.
Yeah, he'll want to be.
Be number 1.
Because as Fabrizio said, he wants like a big move, so he wants to be that guy.
Yeah, because it means he wants to give him a chance. He wants to give him a chance at the Spain national goalkeeping jersey. Because what's his name? The Spanish goalkeeper that we seen. What's his name? During the summer there. Who was it?
Unai Simon.
Simon. Yeah, he's not the greatest. He's okay, but he's not. He's not great. But I'm just like, where does he go? Does he stay in the Premier League? Does he go abroad? The only really club that will probably looking for a goalkeeper in the summer in probably Europe is maybe like Bayern Munich, because I don't see I don't see Jan Sommer being the number 1. Or does he go to Atletico Madrid if Oblak might be wanting to move somewhere else? So it's like that. It's like you said, the roundabout is going to start soon. And speaking about starting soon, we've got the game just kicked off.
Exactly. Very foggy day.
I think it's the Flares.
That's what you gotta say. A very foggy day in Germany.
I
Thanks
think
to
it's the
some
Flares.
pyrotechnics. It's very foggy due to it.
Yeah. I mean, I liked that last night's, what do you call them? Obviously, Kovacic was the captain last night for Chelsea. And the Borussia Dortmund fans lit off the flares to try and conceal like that end of the goal where Chelsea were warming up. So Kovacic swapped him round and put Borussia Dortmund in that end. So I was like, yeah, that's good shithousery. I was like, I like that. I'm all for that.
It's always interesting. Chelsea is a funny one because you went from like, for someone like we talked about a few times, like was the talks about Chelsea a lot, Mr. Rory Jennings.
Yeah.
From 10 days ago, sack Graham Potter now to yesterday, Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. So it's funny how 9 days can change a lot of people's opinions on stuff.
I'm still on the fence with chance here for Paris Saint-Germain. Oh, he's got to cut that back across for
He hits it straight into summer.
Yeah. I'm still on the fence with Graham Potter. I mean, yes, it is a very good last couple of results, but it's not.
Still only 2 results, and one of them
still
was
only 2
Leeds.
results. I mean, Leeds.
Dortmund one is more impressive than Leeds in my.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, the first leg against Dortmund was good. The performance against League was better, but still there's a lot of mistakes creeping in. But then we had the game last night against Borussia.
Your next 2 games should be winnable with Leicester City and Everton.
Well, nothing's winnable in that league, as we've seen. I mean,
no, I'm just saying should be. It should be.
Should be in the keyword. Oh,
Everton are kind of, you don't know what you're going to get with Everton. Sometimes they play Sean Dyche good football, and then some days they're just Lampard's Everton again.
Yeah.
But they seem to be flip-flopping between the two.
Chance here for Bayern.
Then you got Kings Villa.
It is current. So there's also in the other game just now. It is still currently Celtic 0, Hearts 1, and it's currently Hibs 1, Rangers 1.
I don't mind Hibs. Rangers had to equalize that through a penalty.
Yeah, there's a surprise VAR penalty. Surprise, VAR penalty.
Livingston is also 1-0 up against Dundee United.
Yeah, that could be curtains, I think, for Dundee United. If they lose that game tonight, because they're 4 points behind Kilmarnock in the league, and they've not been playing well at all. Not been playing well at all. So, guys, if you are in chat, if you've got any questions for us, or if you want to talk about anything, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win tonight's games? Bayern or PSG? Spurs versus AC Milan. I think it's still 6 minutes away from kickoff, the Spurs and Milan game, due to the Spurs team being late. So they're late to the stadium, which I find baffling.
Yeah, it's funny that we're late here. You see, I got lost in the way. You come here every weekend. Just got lost.
I got lost at a roundabout. It took me to Wembley. We don't play at Wembley anymore.
That was a few seasons ago.
We don't play at Wembley anymore. Since when?
Next year, you're telling me Poch is no longer manager.
Well, he might be manager next season if all the reports are true. mean, from all I've been reading is it's been all talk about Pochettino coming back to Spurs. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think? I mean, the old adage is you never go back to a former club.
Hmm.
So it doesn't always work out. I mean, I usually Chelsea. I just look at Mourinho. It worked for the first season, then it just kind of fell apart the second season, and then you've got what do you call them?
Well, the thing is, Spurs is still not set up for like full success because Daniel Levy is not given enough investment for that, other than his shiny new stadium that he rents out to everything else for money, rather than
Yeah,
they got in
NFL
trouble for
Formula One.
they got in trouble for a concert going.
Yeah, the Beyonce. Yeah, Beyonce.
Went against some agreement.
But I think Spurs need to trust in a manager, put some trust into a manager, give them a decent bit of money to back them, because it's been virtually the same kind of team for a long time.
That's what you thought you were getting when like you hire Conte, you kind of have to. It's one of the prerequisites to him taking a job is that you're going to back him.
Exactly, and they have and they haven't. I mean, he's brought in Pedro Porro, he brought in Romero, he's brought in Kulusevski, brought in Bentancur.
But then the director of football from Juventus, and he used to work with
I mean, make of that as you if you will. But they've also brought in players like Longley, who's been absolutely dreadful, and Pedro Porro, who's, I mean, okay, it's maybe taking a wee bit longer to come into the kind of rigors of Premier League football.
And to be honest, I didn't think they really needed a fullback. I thought you could get by with till the end of they loaned him out now because they never really cared too much about Jed Spence. You could have given him better runs and just had like Royale and Matt as a backups. They would have been fairly good as decent backups off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why these guys are paid the big money to make these decisions. But is it going to be the right decision?
I think there was other positions that you needed to strengthen.
Goalkeeper for one, because
without Lloris, you have Forrest, and he's not.
He's not Lloris.
He's not been the greatest.
Excuse me, very tired. I've been up since 5:30 this morning. But looking at that Spurs team, there's, I mean, left back is still a bit of a major issue for Spurs. I mean, they're playing Perisic at left wing back tonight, I believe.
That's what I was saying when Jono, like when we were doing transfers, bringing up like, oh, they're going for right backs. I was saying to Jono, they don't need right backs. They have plenty coming for right back. They need a left back.
I mean, because Ben Davies, he's not really done well. And I don't know.
Any proper left person that can fill in as left back is Sessegnon, who's injured.
Exactly.
They need a left back. They needed a better centre back than Longley.
Yeah. I mean, they look at players. Look at these players they brought in. I mean, the only one that's really worked is Kulusevski. I mean, I think Kulusevski's been fantastic for Spurs when he's came in and
he might have a good game today. But I do argue the midfield pairing of Skip and Højbjerg is not really the best.
I mean, that midfield is missing Bentancur majorly. They're missing Bentancur, and that's an area that there has been a goal at.
You'll be very happy. Celtic have scored 1-1.
Celtic Park. It is Dyson Maida.
I was about to say Chris is going to be very happy soon.
Yeah, it just came through there. Currently 1 each with Celtic and Hearts now. It's still 1 each with Rangers and Hibs. So Dies and Maida with the goal for Celtic. And we are just about kicking off at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
They found their way to the stadium.
Yes.
They had to ask the local for directions. Just like, which way to the Tottenham Stadium?
I heard they asked Mauricio Pochettino where the stadium was.
Yeah, just
So let's have a wee look at. I mean, we're going to have to talk about it, Boom. I mean, this thing that happened on Sunday.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Between Liverpool and Manchester United. Do you know, I'm surprised you're not I'm surprised you're not drinking a can of 7-Up.
You know, we just ran out of 7-Up the other day, so I
was that on Sunday by any chance?
No, yesterday, to be fair to you.
So, what happened?
I don't think anyone can explain, because we were actually the better team in the first half. If you actually looked at the game,
first 20 minutes, I'll agree. These were good. First 20 minutes.
Rashford could have scored we could have been 2-0 up. We could have been 2-0 up in the first 20 minutes, and we weren't. And then they scored at the end.
And it had to be Gakpo.
I mean, it was always going to be. I always
had
said
to be
that
Gakpo.
coming into it. I said the two players that we were linked to in the summer, Darwin Núñez and Gakpo. I said they would both have chances. I didn't think I was hopeful for a draw going into that.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to win because we haven't won in the last 7 years at Anfield, I believe.
Yeah.
So I wasn't one of the United fans that goes in, we're winning this. I had confidence because with the form that we're in, but I wasn't going into it saying we were going to win.
Yeah, like a certain Mr. Rio Ferdinand who said, we're going to win this, we're going to win it comfortably. Rio, sorry, but
plus it's always, I was fearful for the fact that Liverpool recently have not been good, and there's one game where form goes out the window. It's always been
that game.
United throughout the years. Growing up with United with my dad always told me if we're having a shit season, there's one game we'll turn up for is the Liverpool game, and vice versa. When they're having a shit season, it's the one game that they will turn up for. Form will go out the window in that one fixture, and this one just happened. They wanted to make it. They've been having a bad season. They wanted to make a statement, and they did.
Emphasis on statement.
They could have. We were all over the place. They could have sat back at 5-0, but they wanted to. They smelled blood and they wanted it.
PSG. I was going to say had a disallowed goal there, but they really didn't. It was referee blew up for a foul on Jan Sommer from Mbappe. Mbappe put it in the back of the net.
It's more so because I've seen Man City 2 seasons ago and they could have done that to us as well. There was one where they were 2-0 up and it was basically we were nowhere near there, but it stayed at 2-0 because they were being nice and just treated like a training game after being 2-0 up.
Yeah. Then you come back
and Liverpool did the opposite.
But didn't you come back and drew that to each? Was that no one?
Not that one. There was one. I'm talking about one under Ollie where they came to Old Trafford. They scored twice in the first half. They carved us open and they were carving us open for days in the second half. They were just passing it between each other and just playing like a training match. They went easy on us in the second half, which was they could have done what Liverpool did in that game, just smell blood and went for it, but they didn't. It's just a different mentality. Once they smell blood, they want to try and get their season back on track at Liverpool. And to do that, they smell blood. They pounced. It's just unfortunate that they've been one showing up and the others haven't. This particular game, all three of their front three played well compared to the other games. It was Salah turned up for a game. Gakpo might have turned up for a game, but the other two didn't. Núñez turned up for a game, but Gakpo was missing. This game, they were all there. None of them went missing.
Yeah.
It was just unfortunate that they all decided to turn up in this game, but I'm not actually as mad as I was at last season when we lost 5-0 and 4-0 to them. I was more devastated then. This season, though it's a bigger margin, 7. I'm a lot more
Yeah, you're a lot
relaxed
more
with the form
content.
that
Yeah,
United, because I have faith in Ten Hag that this is just a bizarre
a bizarre blip.
a bizarre blip out of nowhere that will be in history forever. You can't get away from that, but
Yeah,
it's just a bizarre blip. They can have that.
I mean, you look.
I don't
I
think they're
mean,
winning a trophy this season, so they can have that. They can put it in the trophy cabinet if they want. Keep
you've
bringing it up.
got. I mean, it's an interesting game on Sunday between yourselves and Southampton because Southampton
Southampton
desperate.
have been our bogey team in recent
Yeah, I was
years.
about to say that they've done well against Manchester United this season. And like I said, they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for every point.
And then we have an interesting Real Betis sandwich in between that. And then we have a hard game against Fulham in the FA Cup. Yeah, Thursday we have Real Betis at home, and then Southampton. Then we have Real Betis away on that Thursday, and then on Sunday we have Fulham in the FA Cup.
That film, I watched Fulham against Brentford on Monday night. There, even though they got beat 3-1, they were still nice to watch.
I was saying, even the game where we played Fulham this season, like it was very much going to be a draw until Gakpo decided to do a last minute 97 to win in that game before the World Cup. So, not that.
Lucky
not smooth sailing, and we did have to come behind to beat West Ham in the previous round. So
yeah, I mean, what time does that game kick off at? On is that the early game or is that the evening?
That's Sunday at like.
No, I'm talking about the Betis game. Betis game's at 8:00.
Betis is the 8:00 one, and that one. The quarter to the early one is the second leg.
Second leg. Wasn't too sure. Just kind of keeping up the scores. Still Tottenham 0, so Milan 0. Only 7 minutes gone. As we said, it is a delayed kickoff due to Spurs not being able to make their own way to the ground, and it's still currently Bayern Munich 0, PSG 0. The main game we're kind of covering tonight. It's been the game we've been covering. It has been a battle in the midfield. I mean, we've got a corner here for PSG, but to be whipped in by the best of all time, Lionel Messi.
I will say it'd be interesting to see the United game tomorrow for the fact that what reaction will we see from a 7-0? Will we be trying to destroy Real Betis or with confidence, or
that's a good point you make there, Boom. Right. So you've just been hammered 7-0 off of your biggest rivals.
They all talked about they wanted to bounce back in the.
But right, so here's my kind of devil's advocate. You've got that team. It played against Sunday. Who do you play out of that team? If any of them? Well, you've got to start Rashford. I think Rashford's got to play. Garnacho's got to play. I think, and Anthony. I think Anthony's got to play as well. But your captain, or your vice captain, should I say, and Bruno Fernandes.
He will start because there's both Rashford and Ten Hag in that press conference both backed him as the captain when Maguire's not playing. They did an entire question backing him. So once you publicly back him like that, he's gonna start.
So
they basically Ten Hag put it like you can make mistakes as long as everyone makes mistakes. He just has to learn from it.
So would you start him or would you bench him just for one game?
It's a difference. It's a hard one with Bruno because I've always said this: when he doesn't play, even when he plays and he's shit, him just being there sometimes helps the others do their job better because he is very good at telling other people what to do when they do their jobs.
Yeah. And then, like I said, you've got Casemiro as well. I mean, he has
always benefited Bruno. Sometimes when he misses one game, we did terrible, and then he comes back and does very well. Like that game, he was suspended against Charlton in that leg of the League Cup. The next game afterwards, he played quite well when he came back into the team.
I mean, so
he's played the most minutes out of anyone in our squad.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's got to because he's a kind of key, probably a best player.
Him and Rashford are the two that's played the most minutes this season.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Out with Rashford.
Bruno has a very impressive injury record that he doesn't really get injured ever.
Yeah, that's true.
The only time he's been out is he's been sick once, and that's for his career.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's good for longevity, but the thing is, he's gonna get one of those knocks, and it'll keep him out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
somebody's just gonna kick him.
He's been very lucky to avoid injuries the last time of his career.
It's because he always fakes his. It's all because he's always fakes his injury when he goes down holding his knee, when he's like being touched on his knee. But that's just my personal opinion.
I see a lot of players do that these days.
Oh yeah, definitely. But right, so chance here for.
Defended by Bayern Munich.
I mean, it's we kind of said at the start this is going to be a very, very close game. I mean, I think PSG have settled the better out of the two teams.
Yeah. The more emphasis on the scoreline with PSG, you have to be the one.
Yeah,
PSG has to attack.
Go for it. Yeah, PSG needs to go for it. But
like I said, with like the Chelsea game, prime example, 1-0 lead is not the most secure. You want at least 2.
Yeah.
I'd want to at least have 2 goals up in the leg rather than just 1.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, bit of a feistiness here. After Goretzka literally just wiped out Messi.
Yep.
2 seconds.
Referee's telling the players to calm down. Just a quick body check from Goretzka.
I don't know where Goretzka's got to go. To be fair, I mean,
it was more of like that, like standstill body check him real quick.
I don't know where Goretzka's going to go. I'm like, it's like, is he? Where's he going to go?
There's not much in it. It's just like a quick body shield to check him. A lot of free kicks been going to PSG.
I was like, what was Danilo doing there? I thought he just picked up the ball and said, "What are you doing?" I didn't see the referee blowing his whistle.
You think he's just going like, "This is my ball"?
It's my ball. I'm taking it. I'm going home. It's my ball. I'm not playing anymore.
When the neighbor kid is too aggressive in the tackle, like, going up, taking the ball.
Just kind of looking at the games just now. Still one each in the Celtic game. Still one each in the Hibs game. Still nothing each in the Bayern Munich game. Still nothing each in the.
Speaking of Chelsea, we'll bring up the women's.
Yes, I was going to say
there was a League Cup final in that recently.
Yeah, Chelsea took the lead early doors with Sammy Kerr doing what she does best, and then it all went to shit.
Exactly.
To put it politely, it all went to shit. It was, I mean, take nothing away from Arsenal. That Arsenal women's team is a very, very good team. They are a very good outfit, and they deserved every bit of praise they got as well. But the thing is, it's one trophy. Chelsea have still got enough 3 possible to get the Women's FA Cup, the Continental Cup, and obviously the league as well. Which this year,
the league is an interest. United are actually trying to compete this year.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The women's league's actually looking quite interesting. He's a chance for PSG. Messi, it's a great Messi. Oh,
the Bayern just swarmed Messi to stop him from shooting there.
Oh, there's been a goal at Hibs. It's 2-1 to Rangers. You can tell that with complete disdain in my voice.
Yep. But basically this season it looks like previous seasons since they got promoted, United have just been the 4th best team, and then just like the best of the rest, not really competing. And then it's really just this season that they've started to pick up good results against the top 3 usuals.
I mean, taking it,
And that impressive victory against Arsenal that time this
yeah.
season.
I mean, let's say, taking nothing away from Manchester United, they've done well this season. They've bought well. They've got some good players came through their kind of system as well, like kind of. That Mary Earps as well, who recently just won women's goalkeeper of the year, who I thought was fantastic in the women's European Cup win for England. She was outstanding, but it's whether Manchester United. I mean, obviously, you look at Chelsea and Manchester City women. They've got a lot more experience in this kind of situation
Like I
than
this is the first season United women are trying to compete.
Yeah, and Arsenal women as well. Taking a,
They were,
I mean, they're all four
like,
of
the
them
goal
are
at the start of the season for the United women was just for once try and get into the Champions League
compete.
football.
Yeah,
For them.
compete.
They want at least Champions League football. The women's team.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, if you look at they've been very impressive in the league, the United women, but like in the League Cup that you just played against, they were terrible in that.
Yeah. Looking at the I'm just looking at the live table just now. I mean, okay, Manchester United women are top of the league by a point.
You do about Arsenal and game and end.
Yeah. So, but even looking at Arsenal, they're on 29 points this season. Chelsea won 34 points. So we expect Chelsea women to possibly win that game in a game in hand. So I think it's against. I can't remember who it was against. I think it's another midweek game because they've got Lyon next week in the Champions League.
You have United women this weekend.
So yeah, 12:30 on Sunday. That'll be to watch. It's at I think it's Stamford. I think they're playing at Stamford Bridge. I think they're playing at Stamford Bridge. No, they're playing at Kings Meadow. They're playing at Kings Meadow.
Chelsea will probably say it's Stamford Bridge during the international because that's like in our game against the women against West Ham. They're playing at Old Trafford for that.
Yeah,
because
and the
men are an international.
Yeah, that's right. The international period is coming up soon.
Yep, but we have 1 week of football next week, and then internationals, my friend.
I'm gonna go on holiday for a week. Click go on holiday on Football Manager. Go on holiday for a week.
I can't switching up the United for the flag behind me.
I know.
Evan, it's my love affair for Evan Ferguson coming in for the week.
Hey, you've just got another player, Mikey Johnson, just switched allegiance
from Celtic. He decided to join the Wonder Kids.
Just FYI, he's not that good.
I never thought he was. I didn't hear of him until he switched to he wants to join the bandwagon.
He's not that great. I mean, he's okay. I mean, he's been kind of been in the sticks for a little while with Celtic being injured a few times. He's now doing well out in Portugal.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been loaned out to Portugal.
Victoria Guimares, I think it is. He's away to. I think it is. Paco, or is it Pacos de Fiera? I can't remember.
Listen, he's a name. He's a man in the squad.
He's Scottish.
Listen, he's young enough. He could be there in the All squad. We'll ignore that he switched that he was born in Glasgow.
He's born in Glasgow. Well, it's just like Aidan McGeady and James McCarthy. James McCarthy, should I say? And Aidan McGeady, both born in Glasgow, both play for the Republic of Ireland.
It happens.
It does. It's just like Che Adams is about as Scottish as Rod Stewart is.
Sometimes they just play because they want to play international football. They just go.
Exactly.
And to be honest, if you're sort of decent, Ireland will play you. That's about.
Oh, excuse me.
If you can do a job, Ireland will play. The only one that I have full faith in is Evan Ferguson. Everyone else, they can do a job.
Right. I'm going to leave it in your capable hands because I'm going to the toilet. Be back in a second.
I think PSG. Oh, the ref has stopped the game here for. They were having a nice kickabout, and then the ref said no to the kickabout. And here, Bayern Munich on the corner here. Musiala just edging that out for a Bayern corner. Great skill from Musiala to just try and dip that from that attack before. Their good stretching save from Donnarumma kept that out. And Musiala did the rest to try and just at least get a corner out of them. Will PSG be able to defend the corner? We'll find out now. It's been whipped in by Kimmich. And well defended by Danilo. Here comes Bayern Munich back on the attack here. Koeman gets absolutely sent to the floor. Mendes is protesting. What I do? But he clearly kicked Koeman in the foot. That's what you did, buddy. Not much you can protest about that one. Free kick to Bayern Munich, yeah? We'll see what they do with that. And once again, Kimmich, like he took the corner, is going to take the free kick. They go low, but it goes straight into Donnarumma. And then Donnarumma dives and spins for like dramatic effect. Not sure it's practical, but he did it anyway. PSG now trying to go on the attack, but Bayern Munich win the ball straight back. PSG kind of losing their heads a small bit here with possession-wise. Not what you love to see. They want to back though, PSG. But Ramos is going to whack it all the way back up to Bayern Munich. Ramos wins it back though. Very high pressing from Ramos. If anyone is watching at home, you can talk to us about what your opinion is on the Europa League tomorrow. What's your prediction for the Arsenal Sporting game? Man United, Real Betis, and we'll talk the Conference League. What do you think West Ham can do it in the Conference League? Apart from not doing it in the league, can they do it in the L Conference? They weren't good at that at the start of the season, so potentially they could still do it. I have no idea about the opponent they're facing. It's a name I will not pronounce. Marquinhos is a little hurt. He's holding his rib. We'll see if there's anything serious in that, but he is pulling the face. That's not a man that's feeling quite happy at the moment. Oh, he's been subbed. It's Muki Ailey on for Marquinhos. Early substitution for PSG. Will that have a dramatic effect on the game? We will find out, but it's an early substitution for Paris Saint-Germain. They've been forced into, and Munieki is on for Marquinhos. He was holding his rib. He was not too happy with that. We got some halftime scores coming. We have halftime. Livingston is up 1-0 against Dundee. Halftime, Rangers are winning 2-1 against Hibs. We're close to halftime in the Celtic Hearts game that is still 1-1 at the moment. It's halftime now, 1-1. It's still 0-0 in the Tottenham AC Milan game. It's still 0-0 in this game that we are focusing on. PSG with a throw in here in the Bayern half. They give him the ball straight back to the Bayern Munich though. And Bayern Munich put out another throw in for PSG, and they've given it right back to the Bayern Munich. And the women's football, it's still Arsenal 2, Liverpool 0. And Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. And in the Copa de España of the women, it's Granada 0, Atletico Madrid 0.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, it's okay.
Looks like I didn't miss much. Or did it? Oh, Jesus
There's
Christ.
been an early substitution for PSG.
Who's went off?
Marquinhos was holding his rib in pain, had to come off, and they put on Marieki. Naughty.
That was a good defensive challenge there from Delic.
Yeah, but I was saying potential. We'll see what that has effect. How to change your centre back.
Yeah.
Early into the game in that back three. He ran out to he was defending something and then suddenly just started holding his rib. So,
that's not good.
Ball agreement phase not to come off. So, obviously pulled something while running to defend.
Yeah. Oh. Somebody phoned me when I was literally. I was like, listen, I need to go. I need to go. Aye.
Bayern Munich, it's been since you left. Bayern Munich have had more of the chances. PSG kind of were like letting the ball back to Bayern a lot, and Bayern had a corner that went to nothing, and then a free kick that went to nothing. Both taken by Kimmich.
Right, so do you think the way this Bayern team are evolving obviously going a bit more youthful,
Mm.
slightly. Like obviously, we've got Gnabry, Sané still
Have an attack
quite
here,
young.
though.
Nope. Davis. Oh, good defending. Good defending. I mean, again, there's another one. Alphonso Davis still quite young. You've got You've got Delict still again quite young. I don't think. Oh well, we know that Cancelo's not going to be there for much longer.
Gravenberch quite young.
Gravenberch, yeah.
My new favorite player, Paul Warner, quite young.
Paul Warner. And then you've got also this is the player I think they need to build around is Musiala.
Yeah.
They need to build a team around Musiala because he's probably, if not the best player in the probably best midfielder in the world at this moment in time. For young player.
Yeah, and then the youngster Tell as well.
Yeah, he's on the bench as well. So
yeah, well, they're trying to bed in the youth.
See, that's what I'm trying to think. Do you think the way they're do you think the way they're doing it is that with a player like players still like Muller kind of still been around, their Kimmich as well? I mean, Sommer's not as young. You still got, like I said, got Muller, you've got Choupo-Moting. I mean, okay, Choupo-Moting's not the world's best.
Yeah,
but
I think they'll be in the market for a striker, the younger striker as well.
So,
come the summer,
if you're Nagelsmann and you've got say 60 million quid to spend on a striker, who do you go for?
I mean, if you're going youth, since he's coming in, he was almost signed a pre-contract agreement with that hasn't really signed as more like a verbal agreement to go to RB Leipzig. I wouldn't be surprised if Bayern Munich try and steal a Sesko at some point.
Sesko, that's a shout, by the way. That's a
verbal. The Red Bull clubs have a verbal agreement between each other.
Exactly. Well, chance here for Musiala. Oh, it's a good defending, Michele.
The man who got subbed on for Marquinhos.
Yeah. So here's another name for you. What about Gonzalo Ramos?
Possibly, it is one that could happen. You could also see Vlahovic moving too.
Well, especially with what's happening at Juve, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. How much? Delict getting away, Messi getting away from Delict, and Messi getting brought down by Goretzka, but it's a great challenge. According to the referee, I thought he came from the side, kind of bars them out the way.
It's been very much them giving up possession to each other recently.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. I've read out all your halftime scores in your Scottish league.
Yeah, I was just kind of looking at it there, so just kind of keeping my eye on it. Who's messaging me? What's there? So, if you are watching on YouTube,
if you are looking at the other game, though, I will say this before. Not surprised, both Romero and Langley both have yellow cards.
Oh, there's a surprise. But what I was going to say is tomorrow we've got Jono's halftime analysis coming out tomorrow, and it is with one of our previous guests on the podcast, Tommy Kelso, talking about his beloved Birmingham City and what on earth is going on at that club. It literally is a soap opera. I mean, part of the training ground was on fire the other day there. I'm like, what the hell was going on? So, yeah.
It's a very interesting whole thing that with the. You also have the ownership situation that they have going on.
Yeah, with literally the whole ownership is in jail in China right now. So tune in.
No one knows who actually owns the club anymore at the moment.
Exactly. So tune in. And Jono, if you're watching, put the link in the description.
It's a two-parter again, so you're gonna get one tomorrow, one One on Friday.
I mean, I think you could
This-
probably make that.
and
I
then
think you
I was
probably make
gonna
that
say
into
they're
miniseries.
I was gonna say we could have probably made it into a Netflix documentary series at this point. That was mentioned when we talked to him before the podcast.
On the podcast.
About potentially he should still do it. I think they would sell quite well.
I would sell quite well. All Birmingham's Most Wanted. That's what it should be called. But going back to today's game, it's still quite tense at the Allianz Arena.
For those who like the Women's Cup competitions in Spain, Atletico Madrid are 1-0 up against Granada women.
And the English women's game is still currently 2-0 to Arsenal against Liverpool women, and it's still 2-0 to Chelsea women against Brighton women. And it's 36 minutes gone at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and here we go. Antonio Conte has been booked for dissent. So, so Antonio Conte gets a get well soon card from the referee.
I mean, like I told you, also like Langley and Romero both have bookings for fouls.
You can literally put a bet on them three getting booked.
Exactly. You can probably get yourself decent money by just saying 3 cards a game for Spurs, at least.
Yeah.
You don't even have to bet who wins. Just go like there'll be a maximum of like 3 or 4 cards in this game each. And
that's
only do it if you're Ivan Toney though. I don't condone it any of that unless you're Ivan Toney. He likes to do that on a regular. He's admitted to it.
He has admitted to it, but still, it's not nice to joke about that. People have got serious issues regarding about gambling and betting and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully can come out of that.
I think Ivan Toney should have gotten a lot more punishment for it, but
he doesn't know his punishment yet.
Oh, I'm saying that we should have known it by now. There's a big offense. They should have already been thinking of punishments when they accused them.
That's probably why that's because there's probably so many of them. That's why they probably don't know what to give them.
And then you have, speaking of controversial players, you have Mr. Man City fullback.
Oh yeah, that's like Walker. Today.
Yeah, being spotted on the old CCTV being a naughty person.
See, I mean, I guess, but I think it's more highlighted because of who he is and what he does as a profession. So it's going to be more highlighted.
Yeah, clearly the person running the CCTV just did it.
Yeah, get a wee bit extra money. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't agree with what he did, but I mean,
he was clearly out of his fucking mind, drunk. To be honest with you.
Yeah. But again,
by watching it,
nice wee cup of coffee in my Chelsea mug.
He's almost like he's a Chelsea fan.
Nah, never supported in my life. We're back underway at the Tony Macaroni Stadium, the spaghetti had, as us Scottish fans call it. It's currently still 1-0 to Livingston, and
what you said, that's pretty much Dundee.
Yeah, they're not looking good. Yeah, they're not looking good. So they're on 20. Let's say they're on 20 points. They're 4 points behind 10th. They're 4 points behind 11th and 10th. Ross County come on respectively. But then there's a massive 10-point gap between 10th and 9th. So yeah, it's not looking good for the Tangerines. But it's still half time at Celtic Park and still half time at Easter Roads. Just checking any other halftime scores. Coming to half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 5 minutes to go to half-time, or depending on stoppages, still currently 0-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, looking forward to tomorrow night's games, like we said, we've got the Manchester United game, but we've also got West Ham in action tomorrow night, in the Conference League.
Mr. Russ and his bubbles.
Yes, but it's away to Larnaca, the first leg, in the Europa League Conference. Do you think this is a must-win tournament for David Moyes to keep his job?
I think it is, because the way the league's going, I think it's pretty much their season. It's Conference League a bust.
I mean, point. You look at
he did quite well in the group. It's the only thing he was actually doing quite well at the start of the season. But
I mean, let's look at West Ham. I mean, they're sitting.
But then you also have like Villarreal, which is a scary one in that.
You've still got Nice, and you've still got
you got Fiorentina, you got Nice, you got Villarreal.
I mean, looking at the table in the Premier League, they're only 2 points above the drop zone. They're 1 point ahead of Everton. They're 2 points ahead against Southampton and Bournemouth, respectively. This is this Europa League, Conference League, a distraction to West Ham and this relegation fight? That's the thing. I mean,
probably. I think they weren't like last season. European didn't phase them because they were like going quite well in Europa League. They did Europa League and fighting for the league quite well, respectively. Yeah. But this season, they can't seem to keep it up with arguably a better team than what they had in the Europa League.
I think obviously injuries have hampered them something terrible this season. Injuries to key players. I mean, like Paqueta been injured for a while. Then you had Antonio being injured. Then you had Scamacca being injured. The loss of the kind of influential Mark Noble. I know they brought him back to the club as kind of technical director in a way, but still he has experience on the pitch.
Antonio has not been firing.
No, he's been terrible this season, and as we kind of talked
about, disappointed that in that Manchester United game, he had several chances, one-on-one with David, and David had him beat like every time in that second half.
Exactly.
Whereas if that was Antonio like last season or the season before, he's scoring at least one of those one-on-ones with David.
100%. And also, we've got another English team in action tomorrow other than Manchester United in Europa League. We've got Sporting Lisbon versus Arsenal.
Tough game. Sporting are not not an easy pushover.
That could be a difficult game for Arsenal. I mean,
Sporting's form has started to pick up since the beginning. They were kind of ropey at the beginning of the season, but they've started to pick up their form again.
I mean, just looking at their kind of last 5 games, they drew one each way. MILAN, they won 3-2 against Chavez. Then they won 4-0 against Midtjylland in the second leg away from home, and going to Midtjylland away from home and winning 4-0. That's no easy doing.
Yeah, then they played. They've done quite well since losing that final to Porto.
Yeah, and then they've got Estoril. They played Estoril and they won 2-0. And a certain former Arsenal player scored. A certain Mr. Hector Bellerin scored for Sporting Lisbon. And then you've got Porto Miense as well.
Well, they got some decent players. They got that Consalves.
Yes. I mean, Consalves, they got the boy Edwards they got from Spurs. They've got the wonder kid and Football Manager wonder kid and Ignacio, the defender, as well.
And they got Coates, who I usually sign in like when I get a club. But
Coates was a decent defender.
He's a decent defender. I used to sign him as for the first season to get through in the league. You know, he does a job.
But you think Arsenal? I mean, who's Arsenal got the weekend? Who's Arsenal got the weekend? They've got a hard game against Fulham away from home.
Yes,
that's a difficult game. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, Hello, Jono. Only 15 away from 300. Thank you very much, guys, for almost being. So we're on 285 subscribers now.
Get us to that.
Get us to 50. Get us to 300, and we'll love you forever. Yeah, 285 subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. Again, much appreciated. But going back to Arsenal, what would you rather? If you're an Arsenal fan, what would you rather win? The Europa League or the Premier League?
I think for them it's the Premier League since they haven't won it in like ages. At this position,
20 years.
You have a chance to win the Premier League. You might as well just go out all the for the Premier League.
If you're Mikel Arteta, how do you approach tomorrow night's game? The exact same kind of intensity, or do you see them maybe kind of having an eye against Fulham? Because
I think they might have an eye against Fulham. For the first leg, I think you might see him play like a Ferreira or some Fabio Vieira.
I mean,
because the rotated team is not a bad team.
Yeah, I mean it's still decent.
You might see the savior of the last game, Nelson, from the start. I don't know.
Maybe. We've kicked back off at Celtic Park and Easter Road, and it's still as we were, and it's coming to half time.
Jorginho from a start in that one.
Well, Jorginho's played the last. He's been starting the last couple of games. That's the thing.
Against Bournemouth, he was on the bench, so that's why I'm saying he might play.
Yeah.
He wasn't used. He wasn't used subbed against Bournemouth, so therefore I can see him potentially being saved for this game.
Yeah.
And you might get that Kiwara that they bought from Udinese, might they?
We might actually see Kieran Tierney actually get a game.
Mm.
But obviously, he's been heavily linked with Newcastle in the summer.
And Rob Holding might get a game for once.
Big Rob Holding, legend.
And Smith Rowe might still.
There has been a goal at Kingsmeadow, and it's currently Chelsea 3, Brighton 0, which virtually wraps up that game. And
but yeah, I do think Arsenal might rotate.
Yeah, I personally think they will rotate as well. Just like we just said, they'll have an eye on Fulham on Saturday. Or sorry, Sunday.
They got some tricky games coming up. Like they got, like we said, Fulham. Then they go to Palace after the second leg of molding. Then you got Leeds, Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton all in one, back to back.
I mean, you look at that one, especially coming off after the international break. I mean, they've got 10 days of international break. That could come at the right time for Manchester City, because
the fact at the end of April you have City and Chelsea back to back for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That can get,
and Newcastle, like the 3 games in a row of that. And the end of April, start in May is a tricky on the business end of the season.
Arsenal's kind of spring form isn't always the greatest, especially after the kind of mid-season break, if you will, with the internationals coming back. They're okay, but they're not.
Like I said, Arsenal still have to play Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, whereas Man City just have to play Arsenal and Liverpool. So 2 tough games for Man City compared to 3 for Arsenal.
So what you're saying is that Chelsea could have a massive say where that title goes if they beat Arsenal. I don't know where I've heard that before. I really don't know. A certain Tottenham and Liverpool, Tottenham and Leicester, should I say? When
you could be the dampener again on
North London.
Like, if we can't win it, no one will.
And I'll go Easter Road. It's currently 3-1 to Rangers.
Once again, you can tell how Chris is very enthusiastic. Yeah. The Rangers have scored another goal.
It's still 2-1 to Celtic. Sorry, still 1 each for Celtic. So as it stands, as it stands, Rangers are going 7 points behind Celtic. But Celtic have still got a massive goal difference.
Yeah, plus 60.
Yeah, 60 plus 20 plus 20 plus 26 goals. Just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This is Ange Postecoglou's 100th game in charge for Celtic tonight. Since he came in, he's done wonders with that team. Virtually built a whole new team from all over the world, and there's some nice football being played. Obviously,
funded wise, I will say Gary Lineker has stuck to his guns about his message that he got in flack for.
Yep, and rightly so. And it's just went half time at Tottenham, and it's currently 0-0. And Harry Kane does not look happy. Good. Oh, jeez, Jesus.
Yep, Gary Lineker is sticking to his guns and is making out that he got criticized for by his own. I mean, it's always tricky when you work for the national broadcast on the country to be speaking against the government.
Indeed.
Always tricky waters when you work for them.
Oh, there's been another goal, but it's at Tony Macaroni Arena. It's currently Livingston 1, Dundee United 1. That could be a massive result for
as is scored.
I'm sure he's just came on, I think. No, he's not. He's been playing since the start. Aye. Could be a massive point in that for. Is he not the goalkeeper? Or no, he's not. I thought he was a goalkeeper.
Well, he's a midfielder.
Yeah, left winger.
Mm.
Oh, another.
Now, he's playing as a left winger, but he's actually a left back.
Hold on. Didn't Mukiele just come on at half time for?
Yes.
He's just been taken off.
Well, fair enough for him.
Yeah, he's just been taken off.
Yeah, he came on for the injured Marquinhos. Did he get himself injured?
I think he might have got himself injured. Because he's been taken off at half time. For
Mukiele came on for the injured Marquinhos, and now he's been subbed off.
Bitsy Shabu, or how you pronounce his name.
He wasn't having a bad game. Mukiele, he actually did quite well defensively, so that's unless it's an injury, that's surprising.
Must have picked up a knock somewhere.
Because otherwise, that's a very surprising question.
Yeah. But yeah.
We'll see. Second half, PSG still have it all to do. They need at least one goal to be forcing this into extra time. 2 to win it, like Chelsea. And Bayern Munich just will be fine as it is, but they want to put the sealer on it.
See, that's what we're kind of saying regarding the Chelsea one as well. You think you've got this one goal lead, and you're like, right, there's a kind of bit of trepidation when it comes to a goal. If you say, for instance, if PSG score here, then you've got to kind of go for it a lot more, because at that moment in time you're going to extra time and possibly even penalties. But that leaves you more susceptible to concede another goal, because you've got to go for it. That's the thing. We've seen that.
I hate to interject to you, Chris, but Rangers have scored a fourth.
Who cares?
And we keep people up to date with the scores.
Yeah. Hibs lying down to Rangers as usual.
They are still 7 points behind Celtic, so that's the good news. As Celtic have taken the lead.
Yep, 2-1. Back to 9 points.
Well, the Rangers celebration has now gone to
commiseration.
Fish shaking again for the.
It's 2-1 to Celtic now. And the goal scorer is still yet to come through. I think. Yep, there we go. Just coming through there. Beautiful. I hope it's O'Reilly. Because I love that. So Celtic bought Matt O'Reilly from MK Dons for £1.1 million.
It's Kyogo.
Kyogo.
Goal scoring. He's been in good form for Celtic recently.
Been very good form recently. Been very good form. 2 goals in the cup final last week against Rangers, and makes it. He scored. He set up the first goal for Diaz Almeida, who sadly had to go off injured because of a challenge after in scoring the goal, and he had a chance for. Oh, he's got to give that off to Hakimi. Mbappe has to give that to. Oh, what is he doing? He's got to give that to Hakimi.
You bet. And can PSG do something with this? Headed it out.
But yes, yeah, like I said, regarding Kyogo, since he's came back from injury and the World Cup kind of break, he's been nothing but impressive. And yeah, he's.
I mentioned him in like a good weekend, bad weekend when I was talking about Celtic winning the cup for a good weekend last week. It was a game of cup. There was 2 cup finals on good weekend last week.
Yeah, and the assist was from Aaron Moy, and that could be a penalty.
I'm sure VAR will check it.
Oh, he's done it.
Bayern has defended their own goal.
Yeah, I actually think they're having a look at that. I think they're actually having a look at this for a VAR.
I mean, they would have to anyway when the ball goes out, but
I think that's gone in as well.
Choupo-Moting defended his own. That is kind of funny though when your own player defends. You're like you're angry and kind of laughing at the same time when that happens.
I was about to say, did you see against Real Madrid where who was it had the shot? Oh, what's his face? Rafinha had a shot and it carried off Ansu Fati against Real Madrid, and it goes out for a goal kick. He went. Fati was not. He was getting the left, right, and centre from the fans, and it's a goal.
Bayern Munich have taken the lead.
Choupo-Moting,
the man who's played on both sides.
Choupo-Moting makes it 1-0 to Bayern.
Hasn't been.
Has it been disallowed?
I think so, because they don't look happy. Choupo-Moting looks angry. It's been disallowed. We'll see it here now. I think there's a hint of offside.
Müller. It's Thomas Müller.
We're going to go to VAR here.
It's Miller's boot.
Nagelsmann not happy.
Yep, offside.
Good decision by the linesman.
Very good decision by the linesman.
It did not need to be touched by Muller. It was going in from, it was on target from Chippen, I think. They missed the foot there, but Muller kind of guided it in just slightly a bit too.
It's 5 on the Rangers.
And other than that, it's still 9.
It's not 9 points.
Difference.
But Hibs, Jesus Christ, they're terrible. They're absolutely woeful.
Which is quite interesting for a team that's in 4th in the table being that terrible.
Well, there's 30 points of a difference between Rangers and Hibs.
Well, yeah, but like, that's always going to be the top 2 are always miles ahead of like 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
It's very hard in that league to get into the actual conversation for a title.
Oh, I think the goal's been disallowed. I think it has. The goal has been disallowed, I think. Yep, it is still 4-1.
And the referee is having a conversation with Dan Nealon.
Yeah, VAR disallowed goal.
Still does not change much other than Hibbs' pride.
Yeah, Hibs' goal difference still +3.
That's all it protects is Hibbs' pride at that point of the goal difference.
Oh. Women's football is still 3-0 to Chelsea, and it's just about finished at Arsenal, 2-0 to them as well.
Well, the Liverpool women aren't exactly
the men. I mean, they don't hammer teams 7-0. So
to be fair, they're very much like recently the Liverpool women's team has kind of been up and down in that like women's tier.
Well, I was about to say their first game in the league last season, they beat Chelsea.
It's not really. They're fairly comfortable at the moment, but like the last few seasons, they've been up and down. Whereas they just need to get settled, the Liverpool women.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
There's a man that's been linked to being sacked a bunch of times. This is the PSG boss. They keep thinking other managers better than him.
Well, the big rumor was that Mr. Thomas Tuchel is heading back to PSG. Now, if you're Thomas Tuchel, the way you get sacked by PSG, I would not go back. Plus, the majority of the egos are still there, i.e., Mbappe.
Neymar.
That's a bit of a shocker of a challenge. Ooh, that's a nasty looking injury.
I'm gonna say Neymar because like him and Mbappe together is not a good mix.
Well, at least Neymar isn't going around being the big shot who's on £500,000 a week, I've got control who you buy and who you sell.
And it was very interesting because like when Thomas Tuchel was PSG manager was in the game where we came back at Paris.
Yeah.
And the thing where they weirdly were playing Buffon in the Champions League, and that against us for those two.
Yeah.
That game, which I thought was extremely an odd choice.
There's been a last minute goal for Brighton. 3-1 to Chelsea.
It was a very odd choice to play Buffon as your keeper.
I think it was like kind of a bit of a swan song, if you think on it, for Buffon. But when it's one of your biggest games of the year, and you don't play Navas, wasn't it? Your second choice goalkeeper at that time, because it wasn't Donnarumma, was it?
Areola,
who's been very poor at West Ham, in my opinion.
Yeah. But at that point, he wasn't exactly They also had Chip Moting on the bench back then. Didn't bring him on. And they very much were just Mbappe and Di Maria back then.
Yeah, because I think Neymar wasn't fit. I don't think he played.
He was injured at that point.
That's right. Because it was March time.
Yeah, exactly. It was March. He was injured.
Hey, the guy
and Romelu. It was one of the games where Romelu showed up for United.
For United, that's right.
It was 50-50 with Romelu at United, whether he would turn up or not against.
Yeah. Chelsea are still paying half his wage. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
And it was that penalty at the last minute with Dalot hitting it off the arm of arguably a player that shouldn't have been there because he should have got sent off in the first leg on that one. But
yeah.
So once again, like the Dortmund this season, when Karma comes back and
Karma comes back and bites you in the backsides.
And we had Smalling and we had Eric Bailly as a right back in that game against PSG.
Right, here's a question for you. Chris Smalling's out. Chris Smalling's out of contract. Not out of contract. Is looking to move back to England. Would you take him back at United?
Yeah, I think he was a good option as a backup.
I mean, you're still paying Phil Jones's wages, for crying out loud. So would you take Chris Smalling back?
Phil Jones' contract is up in the summer, so Phil can go. Chris can come in. I never minded Chris when we played him. He just wasn't a person to start most games.
To this person here, yes, I'm gonna say I don't know.
At the beginning of the season, my prediction, I went with Bayern. Chris went with PSG.
Yeah.
Just for the Messi factor, which still could have a say.
Oh, I mean, this second half, we've not seen much of Messi in the second half as of yet. But as we both,
Mbappe either.
I was about to say, but as we both know, they can spring to life at any second.
Very much at the moment, Bayern Munich centric at this.
Yeah.
And since it's a home leg for Bayern Munich, you kind of expect them to have a lot of the chances. PSG just need to be more clinical when they get theirs.
Oh, there's a challenge here, and it's Goretzka has got to pass it to Choupo-Moting, and it's 1-0 to Bayern Munich. 1-0 to Bayern Munich.
Nalga's a bit loving it. And Verratti is giving out to the ref.
Verratti's asking for a free kick. It was never a free kick. They tried to play out of football, tried to play at the back, and they got caught. Something terrible.
And Moten gets his goal after Muller ruined his other one.
So it's currently 1-0 to Bayern Munich.
Verratti kind of just falls over.
Yeah, Verratti just falls over looking for a free kick.
And Ramos goes on his ass trying to defend it.
Yeah, Ramos got sent for a hot dog there.
Yeah,
or a bratwurst, should I say.
He was watching the wrong player, Ramos. He went one way, and the ball went the other. And Eric Choupo-Moting finally gets his.
So I'm gonna.
There's no love lost with Eric Choupo-Moting because he did celebrate twice now. But the goal that was disallowed and that one.
So I'm gonna throw this to you right now. After tonight, Galtier, does he get sacked?
Known PSG, he kind of has to.
it's the trophy they want. That's why they say Messi. That's why they say Neymar. That's why they say Mbappe.
That's why they want Messi to sign a new contract.
Oh, here comes Mbappe. Easy defending from Upamecano. Oh, it's a corner to PSG.
The thing about PSG, the problem is they've added too many the
Egos.
guy the too many main guys into their team. They want to be like, I'm the main character here. Too many Hollywood superstars rather than the people that do the work to make those players shine. You need more of the workers. For example, a player that I loved the most, that wasn't the best, but like in the last few years at United, he's now, sadly, he has a lot of injury problems at the moment for Athletic Bilbao, and he's trying to recover for it because he still wants him. And Herrera, I loved him because he would just work.
So that's a player that I think, what do you call it? I don't think Man United should have got rid of him. But
I didn't think at the beginning he was the one. He would do a job. He would work for you.
Yeah.
He would give 100%.
Do you know? I think the way, see, like, what do you call him? The way that Herrera always played for Man United, he was outstanding. He wasn't the greatest, but he was. What a save from Sommer.
You knew for the fact he would give 100%.
Yeah.
And Herrera. You can never fault his effort as you can fault everyone else's.
Ramos with a leaping header here. That's a great save by Jan Sommer. It's a good height. It's a good height for Sommer. If you look at it, it's a good height from Sommer. But if that's down into the ground, it's
David De Gea saving me because I've seen David do them a bunch. Well, I can compare that to corner here for PSG.
I've seen David pick the ball in 7 times in the weekends.
To be honest, it could have been 10.
It could have been. It could have been.
In fairness, all but one, David really couldn't do anything about this.
The first goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was one where I was like, come on, David. Other than that, I was like, I feel bad for David at certain points in that game. There was like one where I was like, David, you should have been doing better. What are you doing? And then the rest of it, I was like, they're just good goals. What? It was more the midfield and defense that let David down. That was more.
Yeah.
Sure, Martinez was going back to Ajax at one point. Then he was walking the other way.
That move that Salah did. He's I'm going this way, no, I'm going that way, no, I'm going this way. I'm going that way. Actually,
he's getting revenge for when Martinez bullied him at Old Trafford, pushed him over. He was getting his own back.
That was
because Martinez literally digged into Salah at Old Trafford. After when the cameras looked away, Martinez literally tackled Salah at Old Trafford. So
I'm sure I've seen a flight to Buenos Aires on that pitch as well, because I'm sure that's what you can say back to instead of Ajax. You can say to Buenos Aires. Jesus Christ, man! That was Salah at his best.
And at one point which led to Bajcetic running into Bruno was like me when my controller dies when I forgot the charger. Just suddenly just stop.
Same. I mean, we've both praised him during recent time. Fred, he just lets Gakpo run past him. I'm like, what are you doing?
At a certain point, even though Rashford denies it, at a certain point, you do have to say everyone just said, "Nah,
done. This is done."
We ain't saving this at this point. Let's just go home.
I'm out of here. Chance here for PSG. Oh, good save by Jan Sommer.
At one point, they were just like, listen, if he's not pulling his weight, I'm not. Come on.
Yeah, 100%. Change here for Bayern Munich, and it looks like Leroy Sané's coming on.
Yes, that's who it was out there, Mr. number 10, Leroy Sané. We'll see who he gets subbed on for.
I'm going to go for Muller. I'm going to say Thomas Muller.
He did cost them a goal. Muller doesn't have
Well,
quite the legs that he used to.
Plus, I mean, by 20 minutes to go, pace.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice.
No, it's
Choupo-Moting. That's a
goal scorer.
The goal scorer going off. Excuse me. It's still currently 2-1 Celtic, still 4-1 to Rangers, and it's still 1 each at the Spaghetti Head. For all you non-Scottish football fans, that is Livingston's ground because their stadium name is the Tony Macaroni Arena. Hence why the Spaghetti Head. To be fair, Livingston probably get more fans at the Spaghetti Head than the real Etihad. So
I'll have you know, the Etihad is installing new seats so they can get more.
And they're trying to get up to 60,000. Yeah, I mean, I
assume what they're getting, what they call their fans, what they're doing is they're stealing the portal box from Ghostbusters, opening it up, letting all the ghosts sit on the seats.
Oh, here goes Coleman. He's got to get his Sani. Sani's in. Back to Coleman. Oh, good defending. But that really should have been game over. That really should have been game over.
Yeah, but good
defending by Mookie from Mendes, should I say?
Mendes. Even Nagelsmann is not happy with that. He knows
a
better chance there.
Oh, pardon me.
In the other game, Harry Kane has just been tackled to his ass.
Good. Is that a broken leg?
No, it's not, but he went down like pretending it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that ball went travelling.
PSG need to get some control back in this game because they've lost it a bit.
Oh, people back up. People lost. I mean, looking at the bench, they've really got.
I thought we were going to bring up Tottenham getting lost again.
No, I mean, looking at that bench, they've only got really two players you can maybe bring on. Sanchez and that Zaire Emery as well. That's only probably two you can maybe say.
You got Hugo
Ateke.
He's supposed to be quite talented, the kid.
They've got Carlos Soler, but kind of Soler is more of a kind of defensive-minded kind of player, but he does pop up with a few goals. What he did for
Renato Sanchez, that's what I'm saying. Do a job.
Yeah, former Bayern Munich as well. So
maybe he could do it like the former PSG man and
Do you know, Choupo-Moting must have the best agent in the world, by the way.
I've said this many times. Like,
go from Stoke to fucking PSG and then to Bayern Munich.
Then he was linked to United. I was like, if that happens, this man has done the most mad FIFA career mode.
It's like he's playing Football Manager on editor mode. It's like, I'm going to put myself here for a season. No, I'm going to go over here now. I'm like, how?
He's put himself into a FIFA game, literally made himself the manager, and just did a swap deal. We're like, he's
brilliant. Oh, chance here, Coman. Oh, takes it inside. Coman. No.
I will tell you, speaking of the weekend, the one thing good that came out of that 7-0 is that the next day, FSG reaffirmed their commitment to the Liverpool project. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Long secret plan. We left them back so that FSG would stay on for the next few years.
There has been another goal at Celtic Park. It is currently Celtic 3, Hearts 1.
Yeah, Sied, it was a random name.
So, who got the goal?
Haksabanovic.
Haksabanovic. What a player he is. Doesn't get credit sometimes. He is a very, very good player. Haksabanovic. Got him from Rubin Kazan.
If anyone cares about youth football in the under-21 Premier League International Cup playoffs, Valencia beating Brighton under-21s 3-2.
See, that's a good question, actually. Can Evan Ferguson still play for the under-21s?
Technically, he could if they wanted.
Get him a wee bit more game time.
Exactly.
Keep him fresh.
And he's 18, so he can go to the levels.
So, yeah, 3-1 to Celtic, 4-1 to Rangers. And it's still 1 each at the Spaghetti Head.
And it's still Atletico Madrid women 1, Granada women in their cup. What a final.
We forgot the National League South, since we do cover National League content. It's currently Havant, Waterlooville. Liverpool fans will remember them from a time in the FA Cup. 1 again playing St Albans. It's 2-1 to St Albans. Do you know? Have you ever noticed the St Albans badge, by the way?
No, I've not.
Right, look at the St Albans badge and tell me one. What does that look like, by the way?
I think I may have done a watch along in the World Cup with when England with that team.
Do you know? I'm like, I've seen that before. A wee bit of copyright infringement. Here's a chance for Leroy Sané to stretch his legs. Sané, he slips.
Just looking at the games at the moment, I'm surprised that San Marino actually have a league, because I thought they were just a bunch of people that came together for a kick about for the international. They've not really had the best of goals in international football. I just said that San Marino was just like me and you, just getting together for a kick about against England and Spain. Like, we can take Spain, no problem.
Just try to see if there's any. Right. So one of our former colleagues, Gormy, who is taking a back seat from the kind of podcast side of things now, his St. Louis team is absolutely outstanding. First time in the league. The first 2 games, they won their first 2 games. Fantastic. And their stadium is absolutely rocking the other night there. Just want to give a massive shout out to St. Louis FC. They're going to be my team this year for the MLS.
In the Western Conference.
In the Western Conference, exactly. So they're going to be my team for this year for the in the MLS is St. Louis. And did you know that Roman Burki is their captain? The former Borussia Dortmund player. There you go. Wee bit of useless information for you. Do you know what? That's what I said to Gormy. I said, right, I looked at that score. It's like, that's Roman Burki. When did he say for St. Louis? I always thought he was out injured for a seriously long time at Dortmund, but I didn't actually knew he'd left the club.
In the Irish League, Derry City are doing an early pounce on the league title now. Derry.
Go to Derry.
Shamrock Rovers, the former champions, have started the season very terribly.
They've lost their first 2 games, haven't they?
Yep, they've been drawing. They've drawn.
I drew their first couple of games.
They drew their first 2 games, then lost to Derry, and then drew their game on Monday. Just gone 4-4 with Cork City, newly promoted Cork City, back into the league. Unfortunately for Cork, they were 4-2 up and then conceded 2 late goals to make it 4-4, but it's a very shocking start to the season for Rovers in the Irish League, because they're usually very much competing in top two.
Because I'm sure one of my local team, one of the players, I'm sure signed for somebody, but I can't remember who it was. Just try to see if I can find it.
None of the teams done quite well at the beginning of the season is Bohemians. They just had a little dip against Shelburne.
Shelburne, yeah. Just kind of looking there. Was it Drogheda? No, it wasn't Drogheda. UCD? No. Could have been a dog, was it?
It's quite interesting, the Irish League, because you got 4 teams from Dublin. Both St. Patrick's, Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, and UCD, all in Dublin.
UCD, Dublin, yeah.
They're all Dublin derbies. The more that's violent is Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers is very much Rangers, Celtic of the Irish League. You're not getting out of that with an arm intact.
No, I must have got it wrong. He's signed for Portadown in Northern Ireland. I thought it was in the Irish League.
Very much Rovers are usually the Celtic and Bohemians are the Rangers
yeah.
of this league.
Just try to see the other scores. It's still currently 0-0 in Spurs. So we're going to stay with you till the end of the Spurs game. So still got another 20 minutes left in the Spurs game.
Zari Emery kid is on for PSG.
Yeah, just seen that.
For Ruiz. They weirdly started him in the first leg PSG.
Yeah, I mean we kind of questioned that at the start. It was like, why are they playing a 17-year-old in one of the biggest games of their season? But here's another thing, right? Fabian Ruiz left Napoli to go play for PSG. Is he regretting his decision?
Probably.
Play missing out in probably the Napoli's biggest ever season. Running away the Serie A title to play for a one league team. In PSG.
Yeah, but Napoli, I don't think any of the Napoli players expected themselves to be in this position. But they have learned once again what it's like to lose. With fair play to Lazio for.
Oh yeah, I mean I watched the game of the weekend. That Lazio played well. Lazio played very well. No, obviously I'm not a big fan.
Although they followed it up with losing to AZ Alkmaar, but Lazio.
Yeah. We're into the 90th minute in the Celtic and Rangers games. Still Celtic 3-1 and Rangers 4-1. So as it stands, Celtic are still 9 points clear. And yeah.
It's very weird to me that they played that first leg on Tuesday from the Conference League.
I think it's because Roma is playing at home. That's why. So Roma got home game.
They should have swapped that around for they made the away leg first for one of them. They've done it before in European competitions. They should have just swapped it.
Yeah, I agree. Just try to see if there's anything new.
Atletico Madrid women are now 2-0 up in that quarterfinal.
It's all over the spaghetti had. Finished 1 each, Livingston and Dundee United. That's a massive point for Dundee United at the table. That's him only 3 points behind Kilmarnock. And it's just went full time at Celtic Park. Celtic 3-1 against Hearts.
And full time at Rangers and Hibs.
Yep, just went full time at Rangers and Hibs, 4-1 to Rangers.
Still a 9-point difference in that league.
9 points of a difference and
a plus 70 goal difference now.
So 27 goals of a difference. 27 goals of a difference. That is absolutely outstanding.
Goal difference of 70 is mad.
Yeah, at this stage, do you know there was a stat I seen today from regarding about Celtic. So Celtic won the league in 2011-2012 season on this amount of points,
Hmm.
and
You've lost one game all season.
yep,
in
and
the
that was
league.
against St Mirren. That was against St
Hmm.
Mirren. That was against St Mirren. That was a shockingly bad game. Drew won. That was against Rangers in the January 2nd game, and won 1-1. So Celtic have scored 90 goals this season in the league. 90. They've conceded 20. That's football. That's football manager stuff right there.
Yep. Sadio Mane is on the pitch. We didn't highlight that. He is on the pitch.
Just seen that there, and I'm sure I just
They
seen
took off Musiala for Sadio Mane.
some more pace there for PSG to deal with.
And
But-
Vitinha has gone up for Hugo. Okay,
And Juan Bernat's on as well.
For Mendes.
Oh, he had a bit of a knock. Yeah.
They got Mendes for that, but they put on that Hugo Eke kid, and that's quite good.
Yeah.
So be interested to see if they can do anything with that. In the Tottenham game, in the start of this half, he took off Perisic and put on Pedro Porro. Hasn't done much, and he's now taken off Royale and put on Richarlison. So he's pretty much said, "F it, we need to go for this. I'm taking off a right back and putting on a forward."
I mean, well, they need to go for it. That's the thing. They're at this moment in time, they're getting knocked out the Champions League,
which means Ben Davies. They're probably going to go back to the back four with Ben Davies probably going to the left. Porro is probably going to move to right back where he's normally at. Davies is the left back, and then Romero, Longley as the centre backs. Where you're going to have pretty much a front two of Harry Kane and Richarlison.
Oh, it's a good ball. Hakimi, why is it?
With Son and Kulusevski just behind them on the wings.
Right. Did you see that? There? Right. Hakimi's virtually through and goal. He takes a touch and goes back inside. Let it go. Let it roll past you. And then have a shot.
He's been a bit sus in the news, and he's been a bit sus in this game too, Mr. Hakimi. A few allegations against him recently.
I've seen that.
And they're all allegations till something happens, but with those things. There's a lot popping up in football these days, these allegations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what to believe these days. You can't really believe anything until courts.
Oh, here comes Mr. Cancelo, and it looks like Serge Gnabry.
Coleman's going off for Gnabry. And Mr. Pissed Off. He's getting his 5 minutes with whatever thing on cameo for Thomas Muller. Mr. Angry gets about 5 minutes. Plus whatever the ref wants to add and end.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
PSG need 2 goals in 4 minutes and whatever. I don't know. Never say never, but it is a tough ask. They would need to get one pretty quickly if they were to do it. And 1-1, there's a chance, but
yeah, I mean, I just don't see where. I mean, the two that we mentioned at the start, Messi and Mbappe have been very, very poor, been non-existent in the game.
We saw them like a decent bit in like the first half, but
but nothing.
It's now 3-0 to the Atletico Madrid women, and they're pretty much going into the semi-final of that cup.
Yep. Here goes Mbappe. Got absolutely no support. It hits the referee, and it's a bounce ball for. There's Messi. So I've just noticed that since Marquinhos has went off, Mbappe is now the captain, and that's a great challenge. What a challenge that was! I think that was Alfonso Davis. What a challenge that was! But it's virtually all attack from they went all attack from PSG. They need to because
Romero is getting sent off in the
is
Tottenham
he?
game. Yep, he's done a tackle. He's injured himself in the tackle, but it was a second yellow booking, and the ref is waiting for him to get back up to administer the red card.
Oh no, it's all gone Pete Tong for Spurs.
It's just it's a reckless defensive. He didn't lose his head. He tried to go for it, but like it's just one of those ones where it definitely is a yellow. But he's already got a yellow card, so he's no choice but to
Right,
give
here's
the red.
so here's a thing for you, right? So did you see the Brentford and Fulham game on Monday night?
I did not. What happened?
Right. So Sasa Lukic gets a yellow card for it was a shocking challenge, right? Here's a chance first. It's a goal. Game over. Serge
Gnabry, he does it again.
But yes, I was going back to my story there. So Sasa Lukic makes a challenge. On I think it's Ivan Toney, and he brings him down, and Sasa Lukic is already on a yellow card. The referee, Mr. Anthony Taylor, who's my favourite referee in all of football, said that he was not in control. No, in fact, it's on the outside. There's that Jon Visser. So he's rapid, Jon Visser. So he's not in control of the ball, but because he knocks it slightly ahead of him because he's got rapid pace. But the referee said he's not in full control of the ball. So everyone said, every pundit, every kind of person, he's got away with one. And a couple of minutes later, he wins a free kick, and then Fulham score from that free kick. So it's like, who'd be a referee nowadays?
I mean, it's like the one against that we won the game of that. Sabitzer slightly voted for that tackle where the ref deemed that he wasn't trying to. He pulled out last second, so it wasn't force. Where bunch of people looked at that and said definite red card, but the ref at the time said he pulled out before trying to apply force, so therefore wasn't the card. So it's just different interpretations.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go with this game's finished, so I'm going to put the Spurs game on.
And the 10 men Spurs.
Yeah, 10 men of Spurs. Oh, I've missed him. He's gone off. He's going off.
See his beautiful face, though.
Oh, I get to see him.
And a player that Liverpool fans know and love, Mr. Divock Origi.
Divock Origi
has come on the pitch.
Divock.
Very famous for that Barca.
Yeah, that Barca goal.
With the meme, corner taken quickly. Origi.
At this moment in time, there's only going to be one London club in the Champions League, and it's not the team we thought it was going to be in Chelsea. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, nobody thought Chelsea would be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
To be honest, after the first legs, I thought none of the London clubs would get into the Champions League.
I mean, Man City. What was the final? Man
Then you
City
have
scored?
like Arsenal. I think they're the biggest club in London when they don't have any European cups yet.
Yep. 2 stars. Chelsea got 2. Could be 3 this season. Who knows?
Could be, depends on the draw you get. There's if you can avoid
Wait, Real Madrid.
Madrid in like for the
Hey, well,
in
to
the
be fair,
semi.
to be fair, Chelsea against Real Madrid the last couple of times, Chelsea have
Yeah.
given Real Madrid an absolute doing.
They did use in one leg, and then you almost turned it around in the other.
Yep. Chance here for
last season.
That's not a free kick. That's why I hate Harry. That's why I hate Harry Kane.
He did that like a few times in the
Yeah.
Zappa again.
Look at him. He's got no.
He gets himself in the position to get fouled. He's looking for the foul, Eric.
It's not a free kick.
But it's one of them where he's looking for the foul. I don't know if you can get in like the semi-final. If you can get the winner of Porto Inter, I reckon you go definitely through to the semi.
Either Antonio Conte is still on very, very severe medication. He just took off Kulusevski for a centre back.
Yes, because it's down to 10 men. Even though I don't think he should go defensive at this point anyway, but he's doing it for the cover of Romero being sent off. Not to play at this point when you just have to score.
Yeah.
You can do that in extra time.
Oh, I tell you what, that could be a. Oh.
VR would wait until the ball goes out of play.
Yeah, but here goes Rafael Leao. Tonali
gets blocked.
He's got to go wide there. He's got to go wide. Tomori. It could be a happy return to London this time for Tomori against his boyhood rivals in Tottenham Hotspur, being a former Chelsea youth player.
He wasn't too happy in the last time we went to London.
No. I think the VAR check is over, and it's no penalty apparently. Here's a question, right? So, if you're Rafael Leao, do you leave AC Milan?
I think you do if you want to start progressing in you.
Yeah.
This AC Milan side are not the AC Milan that they were last season.
Nah.
They're kind of fallen off from their form.
I've had one of those ones. I've had a lot of injuries to key players at key times.
You expected them to try and at least challenge for the league again, but they've completely. They're well off at this.
Especially, I mean, like we just said regarding about Napoli. Nobody expected Napoli. Oh, I tell you what, that could.
Milan are in a very it's an interesting one. It depends.
Yeah. Conte not happy.
Conte's thinking, I should have just let my assistant do it. Why did I have to come off holiday?
Exactly. Go on holiday indefinitely. Hope. Chance. I thought it was going to be a chance.
They still do what I do. You lose a few games, you just an instant result. Let the assistant take it. Do you think Rafael Leao could do a job in the Premier League? I think he has been linked to use a lot. Chelsea. He's been linked with Chelsea. Chelsea were linked with him before they signed Felix. They were going after Felix. But I think it's his price tag is putting a lot of people off. I think it wouldn't put off Todd Bowler. I tell you that. I know. I'll tell you that. I tell you that. He'll bring out the two-parter. He'll do 4-year contracts, 2 4-year contracts. Yeah, that's how I get around it this time. But did you speak with Todd Bowley? Did you see him? Do you see him after the game last night? Yeah.
He came down with a bottle of beer for Graham Potter.
Mm.
Oh, that's great defending by Tomori. This is that do you know what I hope? I hope Gareth Southgate's at that game tonight. This is what you could have had in the World Cup. But yet you went with Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer.
Oh, listen, Harry Maguire's a good. That's why he's on the bench for United.
Exactly.
Although I would have just brought Harry Maguire off at the weekend.
He probably concede an own goal or something, or concede a penalty.
Listen, it was already going bad. I would have just choked them. Harry, as long as you don't look too shit, you're already better than most of the people today. Just stand there and just put your head in front of the goal. That's all you need to do at this point. Just bring him on. He can use his head to block the entire goal. That's what I would.
Aye.
Just stand right there, right in front of David. But shouldn't you need me on attacks? There will be no attacks anymore, Harry, in this game. Just stand right there.
Just stand right there.
Chances are someone will hit your head with. And not looking too good for when it comes to they had most of the possession, which you'd expect in the home game, but they've not done anything with it. The fans at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You'd be interested to see how they're funding this. They're going to need more concerts because they're not making any trophy money.
Yep. I mean, looking at that Spurs team, they need serious investment. I mean, we spoke about it earlier.
They bought a nice fancy new stadium, and they haven't done anything to celebrate in the fancy new stadium.
Off goes Rafael Leao, and on comes Ante Rebic. I like Rebic. I think he's a good player. He's a very good player. He had a great Euro Championships. From what I can remember, he had played very well against Scotland.
And Tottenham Hotspur deliberately designed the stadium that it would have more capacity than the Emirates.
And a lot less atmosphere as well.
They just wanted to beat Arsenal at something, you know? So we have more capacity. Although we breach our rights by holding another concert for Beyonce. And this gets used as an American football pitch sometimes. As at one point. Did it Wembley as well when they were there?
Yeah, I mean, I like the NFL the stadium kind of thing. Because, I mean, it retracts, the pitch just retracts off. It's like, that's pretty cool.
But it must be, it's not good if you're a Tottenham fan because you're seeing everyone else win trophies in your stadium, but not you.
Just watch Haxa Barnabas just go there against Hearts. It's a worldie. An absolute worldie.
Yeah, the AC Milan player just spun a bunch of Spurs defenders. Do
you know?
It's kind of in cruise control now.
See,
whereas have 6 minutes to do something, but they need to get the ball back off.
So here's a question, right? So if Conte leaves in the summer, and Pochettino says no to the job,
who did they get?
Who did they get? Yeah, who did they get?
Very interesting. You'd wonder who would take a Spurs job at this point.
I mean, the one I can think of right now that's maybe not everyone's ideal manager. How about what do you call Will Still from Reims?
Yeah, could do it. You have to pay to get his license down because you don't want to be fined every week.
Well, no, to be fair, I mean, I think it's different, and because we were talking about today, it's different in England than it is in Europe. So
yeah, he wouldn't be allowed to be in the Champions League dugout though until he gets his license. Because
exactly.
the Irish League got that problem when Dundalk made the Europa League against
Yeah,
Arsenal and stuff. The Dundalk manager that season didn't have any licenses whatsoever.
yeah.
So they wouldn't allow him into the stadium in the European games. To be in the stands.
But you think with it being the Irish League being a UEFA league, or UEFA accredited league, should I say, it would be. It just baffles me somehow.
Like he's allowed manage week in week out for Dundalk, but like he wasn't allowed to sit in the stadium for the European games.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's strange. I mean, it's the same with Celtic had to ask for special dispensation for Ange Postecoglou because he never had any European badges at all. But they got special dispensation because he was an Australian national team manager, and he's been in Japan as well, so he has got badges. But they had to get a special dispensation from UEFA. So you think why wouldn't Will Still get his special dispensation from UEFA or FIFA?
Spurs fans praying for Son to do some magic.
Ball comes in. Harry Kane. Oh, good save.
Good save by Magnan.
That was a chance.
You had to say that was practically one of the chances for Spurs to do something.
Theo Hernandez, Origi. Oh, he set the beans on toast.
Oh, Origi thought he rekindled some of that Liverpool against Spurs kind of vibes. He's flashing back to his Liverpool days when he took that shot.
Aye. But what a save that was from Mannion. Great save from Mannion. I get from Harry Kane. That was a chance I was looking for. From Son to Kane to the goal. Højbjerg to Sanchez. Ball gets cleared. There's Tonali.
Seamus Coleman has become the first Premier League player to ever sign up as an official advocate for her game too.
I did see that. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Speaking very fantastic. Good thing from Seamus Coleman. He's always class fellow for both Ireland and Everton.
But for the player that Everton have got, £60,000 they paid for him. Absolutely outstanding bit of business for the guy who's went from.
He's always put a shift in, Seamus. For Ireland.
Yeah, I like Seamus Coleman.
He might not be the most technical, but he'll do a job for you.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Oh, chance here for Origi again. And Fraser Foster just hoofs it away. Oh, that could be that for Spurs' Champions League exploits this season.
Conte doesn't really have the best record in Europe, to be fair to him.
Doesn't. Even with Chelsea as well. Even with Chelsea. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is a good manager, but with the way that the world football is going, there's he needs to come. I mean, he's like Mourinho. He needs to kind of adapt to the times. In my opinion,
Mourinho's trying, but he's still not quite got there yet.
Yeah, still not quite got there yet, but he is trying. Full time and Spurs.
The Milan manager is going wild. He's celebrating the 0-0 like it's a 5-0 victory, that man.
Well,
Conte looks like he wants to be back in the hospital bed. Back at home. That's the face of someone that says I should probably have just stayed in bed.
Yeah. It's a massive result for AC
It's a
Milan.
wet and rainy night in London, and Conte's like, should have just stayed in Italy. I'm gonna be honest.
Now, what does this mean for Harry Kane? What does this mean for Antonio Conte? What does this mean for Spurs in general?
Another trophyless season for Spurs.
No, but they put they done well. They put the pressure on Manchester United for fourth place. Oh,
I mean, they kind of gave us kind of lackluster pressure because they lost before we even played Liverpool. So it's like that gave me like a little like thinking like we have a game in hand on them and they've now lost before we played Liverpool. So I was like, calm, that the result doesn't fully matter.
It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. So tonight, what we seen last time we seen Chelsea and Benfica go through. Tonight we seen Bayern and AC Milan go through. Next week
we could see either Porto or Inter with a 1-0 lead in that as well. A lot of 1-0 leads.
And obviously with the Manchester City game
1-1 against Leipzig.
It's all evenly poised in that game as well.
It was very much Man City dominated for most of in the first half. It was all Man City, and then Leipzig showed up in the second half.
And then you've got Liverpool versus Real Madrid and Napoli against Eintracht Frankfurt as well.
Which you'd expect Napoli, Frankfurt have a mountain to climb being 2-0 down on aggregate.
Yeah.
And speaking of mountain to climbs, 5-2 Real Madrid are up at the Bernabeu. Now they have conceded at the Bernabeu. Chelsea almost did it when they played the other season. They just didn't score enough that time. But
so who do you think? So I think we'll do a wee watch along next weekend as well for them games if I'm available. But I think it is as is just now. Apart from I think Spurs. I think Real Madrid will go through. I think Napoli will go through. But it's the other two games that I'm quite interested in because
Man City are Inter. They've been a lot shaky this season.
I agree with that. Especially, I mean, Man City. I mean, okay, yes, they're at home, so home advantage possibly. But Leipzig are a dangerous team. They've got very, very quick players. And
Leipzig will know they're coming in as the underdogs, and that can work to your favor.
Exactly, because all the pressure is all on Man City.
Like people, you go in, people expect you to lose. It's just up to you to prove them wrong. Everyone's expecting Leipzig to lose.
Yeah,
the game. Everyone's expecting Timo Werner to miss like 50 shots, but when he bags 5 goals.
And then you've got the interesting game between Porto and Inter Milan again next Tuesday. With his one game, it's only 1-0 at half, virtually 1-0 at half time.
Inter has also been up and down. They're not really the greatest,
very much so.
But they got one goal near the end of the game, very late goal from a person that Chelsea are still paying most of.
Yeah, Mr. Lukaku.
Romelu Lukaku, who doesn't want to come back to Chelsea, but he's still a Chelsea player, technically.
Yeah. But apart from that, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you are new to the channel, please give us a like and subscription on YouTube. We are currently 15 away from 300. Thank you again for your support. Boom. Where can we find you on your socials?
Before we do that, like we said earlier, check out the 2 parts of John's halftime analysis. Part 1 tomorrow for that. It's very good.
Birmingham City.
That's a big mess, so it'll be interesting. I'll be tuning in.
Definitely, so will that, to be fair.
Being interesting. We'll tune in all together. Like we'll have our own like mini offline watch. We'll all just watch it at the time it comes out. Like.
Again, so thank you very much tonight, guys. Boom, where can we find you on your socials?
You can find me at Crazy Boom __ on both Twitter and Twitch. You can find me Boompool on YouTube And you can find me here on videos, podcasts, or even watch-alongs on the Football Nation podcast.
Thank you very much. And you can also find me at the Football Nation podcast as your host of the live match day watch-alongs and on the podcast, like I said. Also, you can find me on Twitter, Chris_Watt89 on Twitter. Thank you very much for tonight and good evening.